The secret to happiness is to align with your soul's wisdom, but daily life often gets in the way. To keep you on your path, join Linda Manning, transformational coach and healer, for spiritual inspiration and interviews with amazing healers and teachers. If you are eager to connect with your soul, excited to travel on inner adventures, and are curious to learn from cutting-edge teachers, then this is the podcast for you.
Welcome back, listeners. This is Linda Manning, here to keep you inspired no matter what crazy stuff is going on in your life. Today, we are going to talk about a very important topic, and that is energetic protection. So let me start by telling you a story about how I learned that energetic protection was important. Many years ago, I became Reiki certified. And if you aren't familiar with Reiki, it's a form of energy healing that originally came from Japan. And there are different levels of Reiki. I completed Reiki 1, and then I went on to Reiki 2, and I was doing a lot of Reiki practicing. I would meet with Reiki groups like 3 times a week and do individual sessions. It was a really big part of my life. And in fact, I was practicing it so much, it really is part of what helped me get more clear on my intuitive messages, because I would pick up stuff as I had my hands on people, and I started to learn how to feel energy. So Reiki was really a powerful learning tool for me. So I wanted to keep growing. And the next level was to become a Reiki master. Well, there were 2 ways to become a Reiki master, and one was the slow and expensive route. And that was sort of the official way to become certified. And it took many months, and you had to work with somebody who was a Reiki master. There was also the fast and much less expensive way, which was to go to a weekend workshop and learn from somebody and become a Reiki master. So as you can probably guess from my voice, I chose option 2 to go to the fast and less expensive route, because I wasn't really clear why it had to cost so much and take so long. So I went to this beautiful weekend workshop, had an amazing time, and just felt so incredible by the end. I had all kinds of wild visions, things that freaked me out at the time. Like I saw myself talking with Jesus and Buddha, and I'm like, whoa, who am I to talk to Jesus and Buddha? I don't know about this. And so it was just really wild. And so I was very excited about my newfound Reiki master skills. So fast forward, like almost no time at all, like the next day, and weird stuff started happening to me. I would be walking. I remember I was walking across a parking lot where I parked my car for work, and there was literally nothing in front of me, and I would trip and fall. Like, what the heck? And then I started to get sick, one thing after another. I'd get an infection, I'd get a cold, usually I'm very healthy. I've had a nice, strong immune system. So I was like, what is happening? And I started to feel different. I just didn't feel like myself. So I knew that something was wrong, but I just wasn't sure what it was or what to do about it. So I went to a healer, and the healer looked at me, and she looked at my energy, and she said, and I told her what had happened about this weekend workshop. And she said that workshop had blown out my energetic protection. And so I was just picking up stuff all over the place from other people, from other places. And so I needed to protect myself again. And if you think about it, like, if you have, you're 4 years old and you're wearing this cute little pair of clothes, and then you grow, like they're not going to fit anymore. My energy field had gotten so big from that weekend workshop, and they had not taught us about energetic protection, which I would say was not great on their part. But my vibration had gotten bigger, my energy had gotten bigger, and my protection had not gotten bigger. So she had me do a very simple process where she had me set my intention, and then imagine this light coming from the top of my head and protecting me. And instantly, that day, like right away, I started to feel better. All those things went away. My health got better. I wasn't tripping over weird things. I wasn't picking up stuff. I was like, whoa. Up to that point, I think I'd heard about energetic protection. But I guess I didn't take it that seriously. I'm like, energy work, is it a real thing? Even though I was doing a lot of it and feeling a lot of it, I wasn't sure how real it was. And so I wasn't really protecting myself. And then that experience, I was like, okay, this stuff's for real. It's a real thing. So I'm going to give you one more story. And actually, before I give you another story, I want you to think about it for yourself. Like for some people are very sensitive to the energies of others. Some people are less sensitive. That doesn't mean they're not picking it up, but they're just not, they don't feel it as much. But if you are very sensitive, and some people call that being an empath, then you are probably picking up stuff all the time, whether you are aware of it or not, or whether you may be so used to it that you don't even realize it's a thing that you could protect yourself from. So we can pick up things from other people, individuals, from places, and even from the collective unconscious, from society at large. So when there's a lot of angst in society, which we've certainly had some experiences of that, those of us who are sensitive can pick up on that. Even if we're not listening to the news, just the collective, we can actually tap into that. So, if you ever walked into a building, you're like, something about this place, I just don't feel that comfortable there. That's you picking up on the energy of a place. Or have you ever spent time with friends who are really negative, or coworkers who are really negative, and by the end, you're like, ooh, I feel icky. I used to have coworkers like that, and I just couldn't have lunch with them anymore because the vibration and the energy of being around that much negativity was too much for me. I didn't enjoy it. So I just figured I'd rather eat alone. So those are just some examples of how you yourself may be picking up energy without even realizing it. And the impact can be really profound. So when you pick up other people's energies, you may find yourself impatient or really drained is a common one. Even angry, or having feelings like you're like, I don't even know why I'm feeling this way. I just am. It could be because those aren't your feelings or other people's that you've picked up. So cleaning out yourself energetically, cleaning your energy off, doing a little, just like we take baths or showers, like cleaning yourself energetically, and then protecting yourself is so, so important. So I'm going to share with you one more story, and then I'm going to give you some guidelines for how to protect yourself, because I bet you want those, don't you? So one of my gifts is to to empathetically feel things in other people's bodies. So in other words, when I'm doing healings on somebody, I can literally feel in my body some of the stuff that they're feeling. And I'm very grateful for this gift because it really helps guide me in how to heal somebody. But I also have to be really careful with that. So years ago, I was much more lax about my protection back then. And I was working with a woman named Janet. She was a regular client, and she had a lot of challenges. And one day we were working on stuff, and I could feel that it was in her stomach, like all this like heavy old energy, and a lot of crap was in her stomach, and I was helping release it. And we got off, and she was feeling much better. And I went and threw up. I literally threw up her stuff because I had let it come into my body and taken it on. And I made a decision at that moment. I was like, that's not going to happen again. So I don't know if you know this, but you can negotiate with the guides. So I negotiate with them. I'm like, I would like to receive this information. I like receiving the information in my body about what's happening with someone, but I just want it to just enough for me to know what's going on and then release it. I don't want to actually take it on. So I actually do something. Here's a little extra tip. Like I lock my wrists. Like imagine there's a lock. I lock my wrists when I'm doing hands-on healing work so that the energy doesn't come up through them into me. So I still feel it, but I don't take it on like I used to. Highly recommend that. All right. So those are a couple of examples of why I know that energy protection is very, very important. If you're doing any healing work or being healed, or you're just walking around the world, like you don't have to be a healer, just walking around the world, it's important, especially for people who are sensitive, to protect themselves. So you may be thinking, wow, Linda, this energetic protection thing sounds really important. How can I do that? Well, that is a great question. I am so glad that you asked. And so there are a lot of great answers. I'm going to give you some here, and then I'm going to give you a resource to find out even more. Ready? So one of the fastest and easiest ways to protect yourself is simply to set your intention and then to visualize yourself surrounded by light. So you can set your protection. I like this light to protect me from the highest, and then envision yourself completely wrapped around by light. So if you walk in somewhere and you get that little like red alert from your intuition that says, oh, this place doesn't feel good. In that moment, like, okay, right, I'm going to protect myself and just set that intention and bring in the light. Very simple and can definitely help. There's also several different protection prayers that I use, and I want to share those with you. So one is from my friend and mentor, Marianne Robbat. I've taken a lot of healing classes with her. She's amazing. And she shared with me a very simple protection. I'm going to share it with you right now, and I'm going to have it in the show notes. So if you want to read it afterwards or say it to yourself. So here it goes. And I'm going to pause between each line. So listener, if you want to say it after me, you can. It's very easy. So I am the light. The light is within me. The light surrounds me. The light moves throughout me. The light protects me. I am the light. All right, see, very simple. Hopefully, as you said that, now I kind of said it from my head. I will have to confess right now, I said it from my head, and I didn't fully pull it in energetically. That's what I like to do. I like to really pull it in and say, okay, really breathe it in. I am the light, like a declaration. The light is within me, and the light surrounds me. The light protects me. I am the light. And if you're feeling like a need for a double hit of protection, I do that same prayer, but I say love. I am the love. And if you mix up the lines and say them in a different order, it's all good. So don't worry about that. Okay, so that is one protection prayer, very simple, that I use, and I find it to be really helpful. But you might recall that I went to a Sufi-based healing school, University of Sufism and Spirituality, and I learned a prayer from my Sufi guide called the Fatiha. It's a very common prayer, and it means the opening. And the way that I experience it is that when I say it, I'm asking the divine to open me to receive only that is from the highest vibration, the highest, clearest light that I'm capable of holding, and to protect me and my client or whoever else I'm working with, protect me from anything that's a lower vibration, so that everything that I do comes from the highest vibration possible. So that's what I do. I do it at the beginning of each healing session that I do, and I do it for myself sometimes. And the Fatiha is a really beautiful prayer. And I think for me, because I've been doing it for so many years, it's like in my cells. So I feel it very deeply. So I'm going to say it for you right now. And I would invite you to, if you're somewhere you can close your eyes and see if you can actually feel the prayer. It's in Arabic. I might have mentioned that. And so, unless you speak Arabic, which I unfortunately do not, you might not understand the words. So I don't want you to focus on the words, but on the vibration of the feeling. A little aside, I grew up in being as Jewish, and I also don't speak Hebrew. So having a prayer that I don't understand is like totally second nature to me. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so let's do the Fatiha. So take in a deep breath and blow it out. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata al-ladina an'amta alaihim. Ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amen. Just taking a breath and see if you can feel that beautiful, clean light, that high vibration coming in and protecting you. I feel it. Okay. So we've talked about why energetic protection is important and a couple of different methods for doing it. So you may be wondering, well, what happens when I protect myself? Another good question. Very good. So protecting yourself really gives you the ability to be around others without being impacted by them in the same way, not being energetically impacted by them. It helps you not bring home other people's stuff, right? So you're out and about. You don't want to bring that stuff home. You want to keep it to them. So it helps you align with you and your own divine source more easily because you're not being pulled off track with other people's stuff. You're really lining up to your wisdom, to your guidance, to your intuition. And so there's a clarity, there's a purity that happens when you protect yourself energetically. And if you're a coach or a healer, it's going to help you be better at your job because you are creating a sacred space for you and the other person to have that wisdom. Trust your wisdom, baby. Have that wisdom come through you really cleanly and clearly. So lots of great reasons to protect yourself energetically. Things like because it's not good if you don't, and because it's really wonderful if you do. So there you go. All right. So I now I've taught you a couple of ways to protect yourself, but as promised, there is more. I have a 5-day free challenge coming up on energetic protection for spiritual seekers. And I have so many, many ways to protect yourself. And what I've noticed is that different people like different things, right? Like anything in life, right? We don't like the same food. We don't all like the same kind of healing, and we don't all like the same kind of protection. So in this 5-day challenge, every single day, I'm going to teach you 1 or 2 new ways to protect yourself. And they're really fast. It's like maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's it. And if you watch it and answer the questions, there are really cool prizes that I picked out that I'm super excited about. So in the show notes is going to be a link so you can sign up for the 5-day challenge. So you will find out exactly when it is. And I'm really excited about it. I finished making all the videos. I think they're really good, if I do say so. And I think they will serve you to help you find some new ways to protect yourself that are fast, that are easy, and that really work for you. So sign up for the 5-day challenge and listen to this podcast again if you want to hear these prayers. I'll also print them in the show notes. And thank you so much, as always, for listening. I hope this served you, mind, body, heart, and soul. I hope this helps you align to your wisdom, because that's really what we're all about here, and that it helps inspire you to have an amazing day. So that's it for this session. And I will see you with an interview next time from another amazing healer. Talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to leave a review and share this podcast. To learn more or to book a personal session with Linda, go to innerclarity.biz or click the link in the show notes. And may you always trust your wisdom.